Vail Inc., Vail Incorporated, Vail Incorporation, whatever you want to call it, let's talk about it. By now, I live in Vail. I have for many, many years. My husband and I moved out in the late 1990s. Vail was very small, very nothing like it is today. But recently, I attended a town hall meeting on September 12th. They were going over and talking about Vail Incorporation and what that means to the residents and incoming residents, what that's going to mean to the community. So we're going to talk about that. So definitely subscribe to this video and video series. I'm going to be going over quite a bit of this in the future. I'm trying to stay up on all the deals going on in Vail. So trying to see what's really going on in the Vail community. And I wanted to make sure that you are all notified and know what's going on as well. So during the September 12th meeting, they were discussing the possibilities of Vail being incorporated. So first, I just want to say this is for information only. I'm going to try really hard not to give you my opinion. So this is just for information. So this action is fairly new. As in this time around is fairly new. So they did attempt to do an incorporation back in 2013. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. During my meeting I was in, they didn't really have the boundary set for where Vail is and is not. So they're definitely working on that. And as the information comes out, I'll be doing more videos and sharing that as all that comes out. But just for references on why Vail is what it is and why it makes it so special, here's a short clip of a video, just a few minutes, maybe actually just a few seconds, the history. For more history, I have a whole bunch of videos on this, but this is just a short clip of a video about the history of Vail.
Vail, Arizona, a land of rich history and rugged beauty. Before Edward and Walter Vail negotiated for a Southern Pacific Railroad stop, this land was home to many peoples and cultures. In 1880, the railroad brought a connection to the greater world, and Vail was on the move. Today, Vail is still moving. Growth continues. Houses populate the once native desert lands. The ever-growing city of Tucson is at Vail's front door. And while growth brings opportunities, it also brings challenges. Walter and Edward Vail never could have dreamed of the world we have today. Vail has changed a lot since those frontier days of the late 19th century. But change is inevitable. How Vail manages that change is up to us. Stay informed.
Video? I'm just kidding, it's not that sad. But the history out in Vail is really great. I mean, we have places like Colossal Cave Mountain Park, the Cienega Creek. We have places to go and wander around. There's a great deal of history even out at the wineries. So definitely explore. If you don't want to get out and actually explore, you can always check out my Tour of Vail videos where I went around and explored for you. It was a lot of fun. We did it in the middle of the summer. Probably not the smartest thing, but at the end, we stopped off at the winery. That was a lot of fun. So we're going to go over some pros and cons about the incorporation of Vail. But first, we'll kind of give you an idea of why people move out to Vail. Like I mentioned earlier, my husband and I moved out in the late 90s. And we moved out for a lot of the same reasons other people move out to the areas like Vail. It has a rural feeling. It's close to nature. It's a small town, or has that small town feeling. Kind of widespread, mountains galore, like you're just surrounded by them. There's a lot more vegetation. The weather's a little bit more mild in Vail than it is in the Tucson area. So there's a lot of benefits to being out in Vail. So as you can see, that's why there's a lot of attractions. And of course, the Vail School District, that's a big attraction. So these are a lot of the reasons why people are moving out to Vail. So let's really start talking about the pros and cons of incorporating a town like Vail. But first, let's learn what is an incorporation. So what does the incorporation actually mean? For a town in the USA, that means that a town has its own government, usually with a mayor and a city council. Incorporated towns often have their own police and fire districts or fire departments. In the Vail area, including Corona Day, Tucson, we have 4 fire departments. In small towns, sometimes it makes more sense for the county to provide these services than it is to be unincorporated. So let's talk about the pros. A successful incorporated town enjoys more freedoms, protections, than an unincorporated town from other municipalities such as, I don't know, Tucson. Other pros like local fire and police services. So you're going to have less wait time in case of an emergency. Usually more control over land use and the zoning for that land use. Depending on the taxes and tax base, usually more government services such as libraries, road improvements, that kind of stuff. There are some cons though. It could mean higher taxes. If we were to be annexed, which is something that has been discussed in the past, if we were to be annexed by Tucson, our taxes will go up. So are we going to control that, or are we not going to have control over that? That's going to be up to you. So the first attempt to incorporation was back in 2013, where 55% of the residents voted no. Now, I have been out here since the late 90s. I don't even remember this talk about or the incorporation. There were some whispers about it, but it wasn't something that was kind of out there and really well known. So I think maybe that was part of the problem of why they didn't have a very good voter turnout. Since then, Vail is growing substantially at the rate of 2.44% annually, and its population has increased 5% since the most recent census, which recorded a population of 13,604 just back in 2020. So spanning over the 23 miles that Vail has a population density of 630 people per square mile. But if you're looking at the futuristic, the future look, now looking at this graph that I'm going to be showing you, you can see the recorded trends or the past trends, and if they continue to go the way they're going, they're actually a forecast of population density to be 718 people per square mile. That's up from 532 people per square mile. Now, depending on where you're at, you're going to feel that crunch. Like in the town, in Central, where you see a lot of the new construction, there's a lot more congestion. During the meeting, I heard other people say, I was tired of Vail growing, 10 years ago. Well, every area grows. And if you move to an area and then you're tired of the growth, you are the growth. Because when I moved out here 20 years ago, I was tired of the growth. So it all just kind of trickles down. So don't be part of the problem. Try to be part of the solution. So Vail is growing, period. What we need, though, as our Vail community is to have control over that growth. But of course, it's up to you whether you decide yes or decide no. But definitely get out and vote. Bottom line, as Vail continues to grow, we need to plan our future and how it will look. That's going to be very important for all of us that live in the Vail community. But whatever your thoughts, if you're for it or against it, vote for it. Get out there and cast your vote. We need to make sure every voice is heard. So if you want to keep in the loop, definitely subscribe to this channel. Come back often because I will be keeping everybody apprised of what's going on. And I will have some information in the description, so check that out as well. And, come back. If you go to another town hall meeting, if I see you there, come out and say hi. I'll definitely love to meet more people out in Vail because, I live here. Bye-bye.